Hey guys, it's your boy, Ballface8020, back with another great, part of Interrogation. You guys seem like you really enjoyed part one, so this time I am going to start from the beginning since it's so short, and then I'm assuming part three will be the last part. Maybe part four will be the last part. Then I should have it finished by then. It's pretty short, so obviously if we're going to make this a movie, we'd have to flesh it out a little bit longer. But we can work on it as we go along. So we'll start at the beginning. You guys know the background story. If you don't, you can watch the first video. You got Detective Waller in here, interviewing suspect Scott McKenzie, 26 years old. Scott McKenzie is 26-year-old white male. This is in Tampa, Florida, or in a suburban Tampa, Florida. Okay. Okay, so they've sat down in the interrogation room. You got Detective Waller and Scott, starting as Detective Waller. So, Scott, I know we've been over this, but take me through your day, Friday, of last week again. Well, like I said, pretty ordinary day. I woke up at 8:30, I think 8:34, actually. I got dressed, and then I checked my email. I checked my Twitter and my text. I had Captain Crunch for breakfast, and I had 3 bowls of it, and I had a Coke with it, a 12-ounce can of Coke. I surfed the web for a while, and then I left to go to work. I got to the office 15 minutes late. I got off work at 6, and then I went home. Actually, not straight home. I stopped at 7-Eleven to get gas. And I also bought a few packs of those like mini chocolate chip muffins, the ones that actually like say 7-Eleven brand on it. When I got home, I started playing League of Legends, and I think till like 8 or something, I took a nap. Then I went and I took a nap, and I woke up at like 9:48, I think. I don't know, sometime around then. I logged back on and played some more League for another 2.5 hours. Then I went on a walk. I was out for about 45 minutes. When I came back, I watched What's Eating Gilbert Grape on Netflix, and then I fell asleep in front of the TV. That's everything. Okay, so you said you slept from 8 p.m. to 9:48 p.m. Yep, around there. Well, it's just that 9:48 is kind of a specific time. Is there any particular reason that you remember it? No, not really. It might not even be accurate. But that's just how I remembered it when you guys asked me, on Saturday, and then so when you asked me again on Tuesday, that's how I remembered it. And at this point, it's just burned in that way. Regardless of whether that's actually the time I woke up or not. Okay. And then you said you played League of Legends until approximately midnight. No, it was definitely after midnight. I don't really know when exactly. Probably like 12:15. 12:15. Okay. And then you went on a walk? Yeah. Where did you walk? Like, what was your route? You know what I mean? Yeah, well, like, I know the route, but I don't know all the street names. When I leave, I always walk this same route. So I leave the building, and then I walk around the back, and then I cut through the side street that is there, that's adjacent to like the side street that connects to the back of the parking lot. And the side street takes me, I don't know what the side street's called, but it takes me to Riddle Street. And then I take that to, I think it's called Hendrick Street. And then I take that until I get to some street I forget the name of. And then I take that until I get to the park. I don't know what the park's name is, but I could definitely point it out to you. It's got like a fountain thing, and what I consider the left corner of it from where I come in. And it's got a hill in I don't know, kind of near one of the edges with a basketball court on top of it. So I walk through that park, and then I turn right on some street that I don't know the name of, and that street kind of like circles around and gets me back to where I come in, and then I walk back the same way I came, and I walk back home. I mean, and this took you 45 minutes. This walk, yeah, something like that. So you got home around 1:30. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't remember. Did you have your phone with you? Nah, I never take my phone with me when I'm walking. Actually, no, I did once. I did once because I wanted to measure how many steps I was taking, because I have an app on my phone that tracks steps. So that's so. But otherwise, no, I leave it on my desk or charging. And how many steps was it, that walk? Both times I measured it, it was between like 7,200 and 7,400. So you measured it twice. Yeah. But those were the only two times that you've brought your phone with you on a walk? Oh, I mean, I don't know. I mean, probably there were others. What I meant is that I never deliberately pick up my phone and take it with me when I'm walking. Like I said, my phone is usually next to my computer when I'm on the computer. If it's not there, it's charging. And which is, I charge it on my, I don't know what you call it, like dresser. And because that's nearer to the socket. So my phone's either there, and then like if I know I'm just going on a walk and not doing anything else, I won't bring my phone with me. But I mean, I definitely think there have been times where I went out to walk and my phone was already in my pocket, and it was on it. But but what I never do is like grab it and take it with me deliberately. It's like, so okay, so what you're saying is like, if you like just didn't notice really that you had it on you, then you'll take it with you when you walk. But otherwise, you leave it at home, as long as all you're doing is going out for a walk. Yes, exactly, right. And you take this same route regularly? Yep. Like how often? Every day? Every other day? Like how often? Like 3 or 4 times a week, probably. 3 or 4 times a week? Yeah. Okay, so back to Friday night. You were watching Netflix and then you fell asleep? Yeah. So about what time would you say you fell asleep? I'm not sure. Oh, that's okay. Just ballpark it. I don't know, like 2 maybe? I really don't know. Okay, but you're not sure, but maybe like 2 a.m.? Yeah, around then. I maybe 3, 2, I don't know. Okay, so you fell asleep in front of the TV on the couch, I guess? Yeah. And did you wake up at all during the night, or did you, like, at all? Yeah, I woke up and at some point in the night, and then I, got up and went into my bed. And what time was that you woke up and you went into your bed? I don't know. Well, again, just ballpark. I mean, the thing is, like, I woke up, I was like, and I knew I wanted to get into my bed, and that was just it. I went straight in, so I have no idea. I mean, I know it was still dark out, so, it had to have been before, like 6:45, I guess. But I other than that, I don't know. Okay, so you got into bed, and then what time did you wake up on Saturday morning? I think like noon. Noon? Yeah, I mean, maybe a little later, but I think like noon. And what about the rest of the day on Saturday, between when you woke up and when we first spoke that evening? I just hung out at home, played League. Did you go anywhere or speak with anyone? Nah. What about after we spoke? Did you do anything then or speak with anyone? After we spoke, I sent texts to some of my buddies saying that Rachel was missing and that the cops just talked to me. Okay, and you said Rachel. Your buddies already knew who Rachel was? They didn't know her name, but they knew who she was from my stories, from me talking about her. So you had previously spoken about Rachel to your friends? Yeah. And what had you said about her? Just that she was hot. I described her as the hot girl across the hall. Okay, and on the subject of Rachel, what kind of relationship did you have with her? None. We'd say hi in the hallway, but that's it. Did you ever ask her out or anything like that? No. Well, you said that you thought she was attractive. Did you have any thoughts of eventually pursuing something romantic with her? Nah. Well, why not, may I ask? I just never got a vibe from her that she was interested in me. Any particular reason? Well, I mean, she's kind of out of my league. I'd seen her boyfriend, and I don't think I was her type. How so? Well, he's like really like tall and big, and much better looking than I am. Like he's like a football jock type, and that's not really me. So I'm not sure that I was really what she was looking for physically. So the reason you never pursued anything with her was because you didn't think she'd have been receptive? I mean, I guess. Did you ever get any impression from Rachel that she disliked you or that she was afraid of you? Afraid of me? No. Why would she have been afraid of me? Well, that's what I'm asking you, Scott, because she was. She repeatedly described you in conversations with others as creepy guy. She said you really made her uncomfortable. She even joked about you potentially being a serial killer. What? Rachel did? Seriously? Yeah. Why would she have felt that way? I have no idea whatsoever. We really didn't talk that much. Well, did she ever catch you like staring at her or anything? You had mentioned yourself she's a very pretty girl. That did happen once. Yes. And it was kind of awkward, but she didn't say anything about it or anything. And when did that happen? I don't know, 2 months ago maybe. I really only would usually see her a few times a week. I definitely never got the impression that she was afraid of me. The few times I spoke with her, it was actually she who initiated the conversation. Well, she was scared of you, Scott. She told numerous people that she frequently caught you leering at her. Yeah, well, okay, that just isn't true. It is true. I can show you statements. No, I mean, it isn't true that I was frequently leering at her. Oh, okay, well, that's what Rachel herself said. Okay, that's fine, but it's not true. Okay, well, Scott, I want to ask you something. What do you think happened to Rachel? Yeah, I've been thinking about that. I think probably some guy grabbed her and killed her. And what makes you think that? Because it seems like that's how these cases turn out. So you think Rachel's dead? Yeah, probably. I mean, I kind of hope she is because, it would suck if some psycho was keeping her captive somewhere or whatever. Okay, and then Detective Waller is doing like a power pause here. Scott, I've noticed that when you talk about Rachel, you always use the past tense. Do I? Yes, Scott, you do. Okay. Is that because you know she's dead? I don't know she's dead. I think she's probably dead, but I don't know. She is dead. We found the body. Okay. But you knew that already, Scott, because you killed her. Doing the power pause again. You killed her, Scott. I already know that. I know you did it, when you did it, and where you put the body. But right now, my job is to figure out why it happened. Was this an accident? Did you snap? Like, is this something you didn't mean to happen? Or was this totally premeditated, and am I just sitting across from a monster right now? I did not kill Rachel. You did kill her, Scott. No, I didn't. Scott, we're past all that now. I know you did it, and we need to get this figured out. Okay, first of all, I don't need to do shit. So, second of all, you can take that we're past that shit somewhere else. That's all that's happened is that you said I did it, and I'm supposed to roll over and agree because you said so? Blow me. Scott, I know this is stressful, but I'm trying to help you out here. I'm going to be the last person you talk to before the wheels of the criminal justice system start turning. This is going to be your last chance to tell your side of the story. And when you say wheels of the criminal justice system, what does that consist of? Your prosecution for first-degree murder, for Rachel's murder. Okay, so how are you my last chance to tell my side of the story when I could just tell my story at the trial, except without you interrupting me every 2 seconds to tell me that I actually did it? By then, it'll be too late. There will already be a narrative. If we don't figure out what happened, the public is going to think that you're a monster. They won't be willing to listen to your story. And Scott, I know you're not a monster. I know that you didn't mean for this to happen. I just want to know how it came to this point. Was it some kind of accident? So exasperated sigh from Scott and just complete silence. Or am I wrong? Is this something you planned? Is this something you enjoyed? Am I sitting across from a monster? More silence. Scott, what would you say to Rachel's family if they were here? Sorry for your loss, I guess. You wouldn't say anything else? No. Why would I? I don't know them, and I barely knew their daughter. Scott, this just isn't adding up. Okay. See that camera up there, Scott? That's recording the footage that the ADA, and I know this guy, is going to play at the trial. So you can keep sitting there and just keep saying okay to everything, but that isn't going to sit well with the judge and the jurors. Okay, I don't care about that at all. You don't care if you get the death penalty or end up spending life in prison? No, I don't care what the judge and the jurors think, because this isn't going to trial. And why do you say that, Scott? Because you have no evidence. Yes, Scott, I do. Would you like to hear it? No. Well, humor me. We know you were obsessed with Rachel. She said she was afraid of you. And we have the text you've sent to your friends where you talk about wanting to rape her. You have no alibi, and the most importantly, we have your accomplice. Lester has already confessed, Scott. He's pointing the finger at you. You are the one who is going to go down for this if you don't give me your side of the story. Lester? The guy from the second floor? Yes, he told us everything. He said it was your idea, that you planned it, and that you were the one who had the idea to burn the body. You were the mastermind, and he just went along. Is that how it went, Scott? I mean, if Lester says he did it, I believe him, but I wasn't involved. Then why is he saying that you are, Scott? I don't know. I guess to save his own skin? Did you guys tell him that he could save himself by pointing the finger at me? We didn't have to. He was blaming you from the get-go. And then Scott sighs again, shakes his head, and looks away. I know you were there, and I know you were involved. That's not a question. What I have is one guy telling me that it's you, and you not telling me anything. Now, in between you and me, I don't believe Lester when he says that you were leading this thing. But I need to hear from you what really happened. More dead silence from Scott. Am I wrong, Scott? Is Lester telling the truth? Were you the one who killed her? Was it your idea? Silence from Scott. Scott, look at me. I need you to answer me when I ask you a question. Then stop asking me the same fucking thing over and over. Just saying, am I wrong, Scott? Are you a monster? Fuck yes, you're wrong. And you've been wrong since we first spoke and you thought you were going to pin this murder on me. But the facts haven't changed. I was in my apartment most of the night, except for 45 minutes when I was walking. I didn't even see Rachel or Lester all day on Friday. I'm asking you the same thing over and over, Scott, because I know you're not being truthful, and we are running out of time. Right now, it's your word against Lester's, and we don't have your word. No, you do have my word. You are just choosing not to accept it. because you aren't being truthful, Scott. Yes, I get that that is your position. You've made that very clear. But I'm growing frustrated that you can't understand my position, that I don't give a flying fuck what you think about whether I'm being truthful or not. Well, like I said, Scott, it's about what the judge thinks. Okay, I don't give a fuck what the judge thinks either. You should give a fuck, Scott, because he's going to decide if you get the death penalty or how many years you end up doing. Yeah, still, I don't care. You don't care about going to prison? I don't care what some judge thinks. I didn't do anything. If I end up getting convicted for Rachel's murder, then fuck the jury and fuck the judge. Okay, Scott, but you were involved in this, and saying that you don't care isn't going to make this go away. Who said anything about making anything go away? I said I don't care, and you are just spouting the same bullshit interrogation tactic on repeat like a fucking retard isn't going to make me care. And then now the detective's pausing. All right, Scott, I have some other stuff I got to take care of right now. Hang tight for me in a bit, and I'll be back later. Dead silence from Scott. 50 minutes later, so this whole time Scott's just sitting in the interrogation room by himself. Now Detective Sanderson enters. This is a different detective. So starting as Detective Sanderson. Hey, Scott, I'm Detective Sanderson. I'm Detective Wallace's partner. Hello. So anyway, you've been in here for a while. Can I get you anything to eat or drink? Yeah, that would be great. Okay, what would you like? What are my options? Well, I can't get you like prime rib or anything, but I can get you fast food or something. Yeah, that would be great. That would be perfect. Can we do Burger King? Sure. Okay, can I get a Whopper with cheese, a chicken sandwich, like one of those original Burger King chicken sandwiches, an order of chicken fries, and an extra large Coke or, an extra large Pepsi, whichever they have there. I don't remember which. Yeah, we can do that. Did you want fries too? Nah. Okay, anything else? Nah, that would be great. Thank you. Okay, should be like 30 minutes, I think. Okay, great. So Detective Sanderson leaves. 1.5 hours later. So Scott's been by himself eating this whole time. Detective Sanderson enters, and Scott has finished eating. So he's got the, Burger King wrappers hanging around. So, Scott, you done? Yeah, that was great. Thank you. No problem, man. You were really hungry there, weren't you? Yeah, I guess being interrogated must burn a ton of calories. Yeah, it must. So anyway, Scott, you had been speaking with my partner, Detective Waller, correct? Yeah, we had a super productive conversation. Do I detect some sarcasm there? Yeah, your partner's, well, I was about to say that he's a shit detective, but maybe he's actually just a mediocre detective. But he is for sure an absolutely garbage interrogator. How so? Well, conversations are a dynamic thing. You got to be able to read the other person and adjust. All Waller can do is just say, we need to get this figured out, Scott, over and over, like he's going to wear me down. But instead, I wore him down. You think that you wore down Detective Waller? I know I did. He threw in the towel after 5 minutes. Don't try to tell me that's part of the script. Well, Scott, like I said, sometimes you need to adjust. Maybe Detective Waller was just adjusting. Yeah, I mean, if that's what he was doing, then it's the only correct thing he did in the entire conversation. Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. But, Scott, believe it or not, I'm not here to talk to you about my partner. I'd like instead to talk to you about Rachel, more specifically about your relationship with her. Is that a conversation that we can have? Sure. Great. So, for starters, when was the first time you met Rachel? Well, I guess technically on January 28th, the day I moved in, but I didn't really talk to her that day. I saw her in the hallway a couple of times and we said hi, but that was it. Okay, January 28th. When was the first time you spoke with her, I don't know, more in depth, more extensively? I never really did speak to her that extensively. I formally introduced myself when I ran into her in the hallway, again, a couple of days later. And there were a few times after that I tried to sort of like lure her into a conversation, but I never got anywhere. So she was like kind of standoffish with you. No, no. I mean, that's the thing is she really was never rude or even cold. Totally nice. You know, every time I spoke with her, she was totally nice, but in a way that it was clear she didn't have any interest in having a conversation with me. Okay, but you did have that interest in having a conversation with her. Well, I wouldn't say that I particularly wanted to talk to her for its own sake, but absolutely, yeah, I would have been interested in pursuing something romantic. Had I, thought that it would have been something she had been willing to go along with, as in a relationship, a fling, a one night stand. Any of those would have been fine with me. So, did you talk about Rachel a lot to other people? No. I mentioned her occasionally when texting with some of my friends. I know you guys got Lester, and I definitely mentioned her to him once. After that, when we would bump into each other and stuff, he would always bring her up, not me. Okay, I'm glad you brought Lester up. What is your relationship with Lester? Again, no real relationship per se. I met him in the laundry room a couple of months back, and we talked for a while. At some point in the conversation, I brought up Rachel, and he agreed with me, that she's really hot. Other than that, I'd run into him now and then, and he'd say stuff like, "How's Rachel holding up? Or are you taking good care of Rachel?" Shit like that. And we were friendly, but um, we weren't friends or anything. I didn't even know his last name, and I still don't know his last name. His last name is Nichols, Scott. Okay, Nichols. Yeah, no, still don't. Yeah, that's my first time hearing it. Did you ever maybe, even as a joke, tell Lester that you had wanted to rape Rachel or hurt her in any way? Absolutely not. That's the kind of joke I would only make to someone like that I know really well. I wouldn't like Lester was just some guy who lived in my building who I saw now and then. I wouldn't have said something like that to him. Okay, that's where we're leaving off for now. That's all for now, and I'll see you guys in the next.